simply getting started. Cause we ain't got no time to waste, I don't mind.
Hey, what is up, guys? Welcome to the channel. I do have another video like this on mine, but mine will go more in depth. If you'd like to check that out, be sure to check out my channel. But this is going to be me spreading the news around of hashtag fix Dehya. If you do want to be a part of it, be sure to go to the Twitter and feedback in game and give your honest opinion about this unit. So what's been happening for the last few days is people have been going over and posting. I have my own too, posting fix Dehya on all their Twitter feeds and trying to make it to where Mihoyo fixes Dehya, because she is not in a good state in the game right now. Among one of the worst characters. She probably is the worst 5-star, I would say, for what she's trying to do. But you can go to their Twitter and you can literally just scroll through all their tweets from the last few days, and literally just kind of an idea of what's going on. Like, I support it. I think they need to fix her. I think they need to wake up and just accept the fact that they took an L on this one and fix her kids. Her multipliers are too low. She's got split scaling, so it's just not good. I think split scaling units are just not very good in general. I feel like when you do that, you're just pushing in too many different directions. I think they should scrap the split scaling and just make her a full HP scaler. On top of that, her ultimate's a little janky and it also doesn't react with Yolan and Xingqiu, which I'm okay with personally, because we could always get units in the future that support those styles that have the burst, like the burst, elemental burst, and the ultimate burst, where you can still react, right? You can do the reactions. So that one doesn't really bother me. There are some changes that I wish they would do to her that were just more so simple, but if we can go into more depth into it on my video on my channel. But for the basic part, I just asked to increase her multipliers, increase her skill hit rate on her E to hit every second, or 1.5 second, and then make her only scale off HP. I think these three changes will make her a lot better and a lot more viable units, while keeping her still grounded. Now, if you want to expand on this, I can make it from number 4, make it to where when she uses her ultimate or burst, make it to where she can heal your team, but that is pushing more so on the broken side instead of the balanced but still powerful side. So scrap the attack percent in her kit, just make her only scale off HP, make it to where you can use her E and it will activate once every second, so it can apply fire and pyro better, and then increase her multipliers because her multipliers are among some of the worst. Those are my ideas. There's also other ones like this. I think this is too much. I think asking for all these is just too much personally. Like, for example, her burst attacks, normal attack triggers, this will make her worse. I know that you guys think it might make her better, but this will make her work because the whole purpose of her is to make it where she's doing those type of damage. Instead of doing this, just make new units that work with her instead of going through all the trouble and reworking this. I do agree with the multipliers. The mitigation thing, I don't really care. If they buff her damage, this won't even matter. And then increase her skill rate, I agree with. So 2 or 3 of these are fine, but the other 2, I don't think you need to increase the mitigation. I think that's just asking for too much. Her purpose is, well, quite clear. You throw it on her E and you don't get staggered. Any damage you do take will go to her instead. If you go up to 75%, she will be dying a lot faster. And then on top of that, she wants to do, damage with a burst, because it's a 4-second duration of a burst, has a 70 energy recharge, which is ridiculous, but if it was actually good, it would be worth the energy charge, because even if she was fully scaling on HP, I imagine you'd still rock her on an ER Sans, because her HP is so high naturally. She has like 30,000 HP at level 85 if you just build her normal with an ER Sans, right, with her own weapon. She has really good HP. Now, obviously, you could go into an HP Sans that way as well, and then go for the energy set and go for those energy substats and try to balance her health that way. It really doesn't matter, but I do think just making her scale off one thing instead of 2 things would be overall healthier for her, instead of making it split the difference and making her feel really bad, especially for low multipliers. And the same thing with her E. Just up it so it can apply pyro a bit more consistently. You can keep the skill as is. I think the skill is fine as is. It just needs to be able to tick a bit faster and maybe do a little more damage. And then completely just buff her ultimate so she feels like a unit that doesn't lose you DPS while she's on the field. That way she can still do her burst and feel like she's making an impact instead of hitting wet noodle numbers. So I think that's mainly it for this video. Just make sure you guys go to the Genshin Impact Twitter and spread hashtag FixDehya around. Eventually, with it having 10k tweets for trending, they're going to have to acknowledge this at some point. The next step, if they don't acknowledge it, is to boycott the game and to 1-star review it until they notice us. Though that is a lot worse for games, and usually I would never recommend doing that. But if they ignore the community, they deserve it. Developers, it doesn't matter how big you are as a company, you should be always listening to your crowd, your people that are putting money in your game and playing your game. I think it's really disrespectful when you don't listen and act like we matter. We do play test these units. We do summon the units. You guys just seem to have a private test server and then nothing ever changes. So you release units bad and then buff them down the road with maybe some set artifacts. But Dehya is, even with her own set artifact, even if they gave her a set artifact, 80% scaling on her burst and her E, and for every time she took damage, hypothetically, and it had HP percent as a 2-piece, it wouldn't do anything until you're C1, and even then, the energy set would still be better. You have to fix the multipliers and then aim towards the set, in my opinion, for Dehya. Dehya's a bit more trickier. So, in my opinion, just fix Dehya's kit, and then if they were to make a hypothetical damage set for her for when she takes hit that scales up her burst damage, that would be better in the long run. That way, whenever we do get these new units that do help her react with water or dendro or electro or whatever it is, her reactions can be based off of elemental skill and elemental burst damage. I think just cutting her down to basics would be really bad, since her basics are really low multipliers anyway. It wouldn't really fix much. It might just look the same. So I think just make her do her own thing, make her scale off her own thing, make her react off her own style, and just build units around her, and then also give her a kit upgrade while, building her own artifact set. That way, in the long run, it's worth picking up Dehya before she leaves. Now, realistically, I don't think she's going to be getting buffed before she leaves, so if you're hopeful for that, they would definitely wait until after she leaves. The reason being is too, it's Moyo, they're greedy. They will milk every cent out of you for buffing her, from pulling on stunner batters and pulling on 50/50s and trying to get yourself a Dehya. Two, the reason why they would take so long is because it took Zhongli, I think, 2 months to get buffed. They announced it after he's left, and they're like, oh, we're sorry, we apologize, we'll work on it. And then about a little after that, they buffed him. And I think that would be in the same situation as Dehya. Now, hopefully I'm wrong. Hopefully they announce something before she leaves. Otherwise, it'd be really scummy of them to wait until she leaves just so they can milk players to summon on standard banner and make her a lot better. Don't need her to be a lot better, like as in like top unit in the game. I would just like to compare her to Hu Tao, because right now at C6, she's comparable to C0 Hu Tao on her best team, which is really bad, if you're wondering. I think it should be closer to her being just a little better than Diluc, and then more closer to Hu Tao after Constellations, not before Constellations. More so like a C6 Dehya versus a C6 Hu Tao. Obviously, Hu Tao would be better, but Dehya would be at least in the discussion for one of the best units for her job. Because let's be honest, Hu Tao is busted. But that's going to be it for this video, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. Make sure you do spread the word. Hashtag FixDehya on their forums. You can take mine if you want and post it around. I think this is more realistic. Or you can take this one that people have been trying to push for. I will say if they do make that change where her burst goes into normal attacks, I will be a little triggered because you just made her worse unless they fix some multipliers. So thanks for watching. Talk to you later. Peace.